We haven't done a video on the KOTOR Remake in a while, so I thought I'd change that, and I want to talk a little bit about some things that I want to see in the KOTOR Remake that I think are necessary to making it the best game it could possibly be. So in this video, I'm going to go through 5 things that I think should be in the KOTOR Remake. Exploration of the past. Now, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic would have been out for at least 20 years before the remake releases, and let's be honest, almost everybody knows who Revan is. The big reveal of Knights of the Old Republic is not a huge thing anymore, and you can't really do it again with the same impact that it had 20 years ago. Which means the mystery of Darth Revan, the mystery of the character in the game, needs to be toned down a little bit. We know throughout Knights of the Old Republic that Revan is constantly having these flashbacks, dreams of who he was in the past, and for me, these need to be entire playable sections in the remake. I do not want to see another dream cutscene of Revan and Bastila's duel on Revan's flagship. I want this entire segment to be playable from either Bastila's perspective or Revan's. I don't particularly care. I want to experience that moment firsthand, because these are the mysteries of the original games that we never got to delve into for the sake of not spoiling the big reveal. But the thing is, the big reveal is not a big reveal anymore, and we can take this one step further. Keep going back into Revan's memory. Let's see the Battle of Malachor, let's see him find the mask for the first time, let's see the Mandalorian Wars, and all of these other major events that made Revan who he is. I want to see Revan's history in detail in a way that we just couldn't have it in the original game. We don't want to change the original game in any fundamental way, but what we can do is expand upon what made it so good, and the best way to do that is to expand upon the character that we're playing as. This could even pave the way for a KOTOR 2 remake, and we could perhaps see the Jedi Exile and Kreia, and Beodor, the creation of Nihilus. There is so much space here to expand upon what we already know and love, whilst not taking anything away from what we know and love. SLEHEYRON, YUTHURA ban and SHASA. If you didn't know, in the original Knights of the Old Republic, there was to be an entire planet that we could explore that was cut. Again, as I explained, I don't want us to change anything from the original game, but that doesn't mean we can't expand upon it and bring things back that were originally supposed to be there. SLEHEYRON was supposed to have an entire questline based around the Hutts, and to go one step further, the character of YUTHURA ban, the Sith you meet on Korriban, was from this planet. If we're going to add anything new to the game, why not make YUTHURA ban a companion? Not only can we flesh out the character of YUTHURA ban so much more, we can build her relationship with Revan, and we can also introduce the entire SLEHEYRON planet arc, and this wouldn't impact the general story. This would add content, it would add a new companion and new characters and new dialogue, and for me, much like expanding upon the flashbacks of the original games, adding these things would only be building upon what we know without taking anything away from it. And the same goes for SHASA on Manaan. The artwork of Knights of the Old Republic features Selkath quite prominently, but they don't really play that much of a role in the game. And if you played the game, you'll know there is a Force-sensitive character called SHASA who you help escape the clutches of the Sith. And to me, why not add her as a companion? There is absolutely no reason not to include SHASA into the narrative, and although she is a little bit more far-fetched than YUTHURA, I don't think it would be a difficult thing to do, and it wouldn't take anything away from the story. If anything, adding an alien character to the Revan dynamic would be an extremely interesting thing to see. The KOTOR 2 influence system. If there's one thing from Knights of the Old Republic 2 that was so much better than the original, apart from the whole game, is the influence system with your companions. Every decision you made, everything you said, it impacted the way your companions saw you, and the way they treated you, and the way they acted around you, in completely different ways depending on how you did things. And I personally believe this should be implemented into the remake. There is a lot of room to use the influence system to expand upon companion and player character dynamics. The only real thing you can do in the original game was make that big decision at the end of it regarding your alignment, and the companions would simply mention that they notice a change in your demeanour. But I honestly think that companions should be more reactive to the things that you do as the player. If you go around murdering people, Bastila and Karth and Juhani and Jolie, they should all react to you in a way that's kind of disgusted, and they should treat you in a way that is negative. The influence system would just give you the opportunity to play around with the dynamics of companions in multiple different playthroughs, and it would add so much more depth to the story, but again, it wouldn't take anything away from it. This would also be a good reason to bring on writers to add more dialogue regarding those dynamics. Companion romance. Now this might give me a little bit of flack, but do not change the fundamental romances of the game to appeal to a certain audience. It boggles my mind how many comments I have read that Karth should be bisexual and Bastila should be bisexual, that way we can romance them regardless of what gender we play. Please don't do that. Keep the established sexualities of the characters from the original games. Bastila is straight. Karth had a wife and kids, he is also straight. Juhani is gay. Leave these things alone and simply expand upon those character romances. I really don't care if you want to add a lot more depth to these romances, but don't change them to appeal to a wider audience. And if anything, this could go back to the point I made earlier about YUTHURA ban. If we're going to make any character that is romanceable by either gender, why not let it be her, a new companion? There is nothing established regarding her sexuality or romance options in the original, because they're just not there. So if the developers want to play with romance options, let YUTHURA ban be that character that you can experiment with, and leave the others alone. Jedi robes. The most important thing that needs to be in the Knights of the Old Republic remake that wasn't in the original is actual robes. If there's one thing from KOTOR that I despise, it is the pathetic blue and red garments that are called robes. Oh god, I just hate them so much. KOTOR 2 brought in proper Jedi robes and it actually made you feel like a Jedi or a Sith when you were wearing them. In KOTOR 1, it just felt like you picked up some random clothes from the lost and found bin and then threw them on and called them Jedi robes. It may seem like the most stupidest thing, but the robes is one of my biggest pet peeves of the entire game, and I swear to God, if they don't include actual robes in the KOTOR remake, I am going to lose my Let me know down in the comments below the things that you want to see in the Knights of the Old Republic remake, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to join the best KOTOR community on YouTube. Come and join the Discord server and follow me on Twitter, all the links are in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, may the Force be with you. Always.